Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be reviewing the new Pixi by Petra holiday palette. This is the Ultimate Beauty Kit 5th edition. This is actually the first one of these I've ever bought. This is the first makeup product from Pixi that I've ever bought. So this is going to be sort of a first impressions review. We're going to see how it goes. Pixi has always been one of those brands that I've been very aware of. Like, I hear a lot about their stuff and about their products, but I've just never really been that compelled to buy any of it. So I was actually working at the Stylist magazine convention a while back with another brand, a skincare brand called Antipodes, and I'm sort of in the middle of doing another video about their skincare stuff, and I'll probably leave a link for it if you want to go and check it out. But I was working there, and my manager actually told like me and one of the other girls that I was working with, she was like, oh, go and have a walk around, see what's happening at the convention. Like, I've heard Pixi are doing makeovers and stuff, so go over there, like get one done, see what's happening. So I didn't get the makeover just because I already had a full face on, your girl was looking snatched. So I was like, you don't need to do anything to my face. But the girl that I was with, she was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a makeover, that's cool. And they used this palette on her, and I felt like it just looked really, really nice. So you can see the packaging is like stunning. It's this really nice like floral, then it has these elements of like, what would you call this, like rose gold coppery foily stuff. It says, it has the name, Pixi by Petra, holiday, no, not holiday edition, Ultra Beauty Kit 5th edition, whatever. And it opens like this. It's like a book. So you have, this side is all matte eyeshadows. The other side is, ooh, the little plastic things are falling out. The other side is all shimmers, and then in the middle you have your face stuff. But I think the thing that attracted it to it the most was like the amount of really nice dark brown shades in there. Because I find as like a darker skinned girl, you get a lot of neutral palettes and they don't have that many really dark browns in there. They might have like one thrown in there to deepen the crease. But for me, that one shade that they've probably thrown in there is going to be just dark enough for me to use as a crease color. And then what can I use to sort of deepen the crease up even more? Because I don't really like to use black that much, because I feel like black can be so intense and it can be sometimes too much too fast, and it can really like muddy things up. Whereas a nice dark brown is going to give you that same dimension and deepen up your crease really nicely, but it's not going to make the look dull because it's still going to have that same undertone as what you're already using, whereas black doesn't have an undertone. I also like the fact that the face shades are not all ultra light, so there's something in here for everyone if you have a light, medium, or dark skin tone. So I'm looking at this bronzer shade and I feel like it might just be dark enough to be something that I could use. But actually, upon looking at it a bit more closely, I'm noticing that all of the shades on this page, if you will, except this one, are all shimmers. So I think this is probably the only one that you could really use like as a bronzer, because a lot of people don't really like shimmery bronzers and blushes. I know I don't. So actually, majority of this I'm just gonna have to use it as highlighters, which I'm not mad about because I love a highlighter. I just think it's really strange that they made all of it shimmery. Like, you would think that the bronzers would all be matte and then all of the blushes, I mean, you could have one sort of shimmery blush because some people like that, and then you would have the highlights as well, but making it all shimmery, it's a little bit strange to me. But then I do also like that you have this whole page of shimmers as well, and most of them really like correspond really nicely with the matte ones, so you could do a really quick and easy monochromatic look and literally with just 2 shades and it would look so nice. So yeah, we're going to be giving this palette a shot today, and let's get started and see how it goes. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I forgot to mention that, but you already know. I mean, if you're not doing it, then that means you're just ignoring me, and that's rude. So really, it's kind of a waste of my breath telling you, because you're either going to do it or you're not. I'm hoping you do. So I have my eyelids primed, unset with the Makeup Revolution concealer. I think for a look today, I'm really drawn towards these really nice, deep, reddy brown shades. The color saturation of this palette is not picking up properly on camera, but they are so nice and so like rich and so deep. I think maybe if I do some swatches you might see a little better, even though swatches are not like a really good indication of how a shadow is actually going to be performed. Just so you can see some of the colors, I'll still swatch real. This is just like 3 of the mattes on my fingers. I don't know where's best to swatch them. They don't feel like dry per se, but they also don't feel really like moist. So that's just like them on my arms. Pigmentation is not mind-blowing, but like it's there. But then, like I said, just because it doesn't swatch the best, matte shades tend not to really swatch the best, especially on unprimed skin. So I'm not really going to look at this and be like, oh, these aren't going to be very good. I'm just going to try them out and see what happens. This is 3 of the shimmer shades. These felt a lot creamier. Oh, and that shine though. This one, when I picked it up, I was not expecting it to have that sort of a reflex. So that's quite interesting. Let's see. Ooh, that's nice. Okay. Okay. That's nice. Oh, I am the most awkward person to do swatches, but look at that shine. That is gorgeous. And then I'm going to try one of the bronzes, one of the blushes, and one of the highlights. So that is those. Oh my god, this is so awkward. They're not quite as shiny as the eyeshadows, and they're not like chunky glittery in any way, so I feel like they're going to give you a really nice natural sheen to the cheeks. Don't know how like blinding they're going to be, but I do also feel like they're going to be nicely buildable if you wanted to try that as well. None of the shades have names on them, so I'm literally just going to be like, I'm going in with this one, I'm going in with that one. So I'm going to start with this one. A little bit of kickback in the pan, but nothing like drastic. And you still get a lot of pigment on the brush. I think I'm going to go for like a halo-y eye thing today. So tap off the excess, that's important. Let's, ooh, okay, pigment. It's not like blinding pigment, but it's there, and I think it's really quite nice for those sort of everyday looks, because overly pigmented shadows can be quite scary for some people, especially for beginners. And also if you're trying to just do like a really light everyday look, you don't need anything too intense. But then if you want something a bit more dramatic, you want something that's going to be able to build. So we're going to see if that's possible as well. So far it is blending really nicely as well. It's not like grabbing it in places or patching in any way. So now I'm going to go in with this sort of peachy orangey shade. It's like a transition just to blend out my edges. They're blending together really nicely and really easily. Just going back in with that first shade to re-intensify it. It's really not picking up a lot of the colour on camera. In person, it looks a lot more intense than this. I don't know why my camera's just playing me today. To deepen up my outer corners and sort of crease a little bit more, I'm going to take this shade. Like I said before, there is kickback in the pan. It's not a lot, but they're also, having said that, isn't like fallout on my face. So I don't mind a little bit of kickback. Like, it's not going to kill me. Okay, so this shade is not really showing up at all. Like, I'm really having to build it, so I might just go in with a darker shade, maybe. I don't know, this one? Or is that not dark enough? That's about the same tone. Maybe this one. I don't know, can you even see that as well? So I've got it on like a denser, like flat packing brush, and let's see. Let me look in my mirror. Okay, we're going a little bit of something there, not a lot, which is a little bit disappointing because I was really liking that first shade, and now nothing's really packing on top of it. I don't know if it's because I got the eyeshadow all over my base, so the tackiness of it is sort of gone, so there's nothing for it to really stick to. But then that's not an issue I've ever really encountered with any other eyeshadow, so I don't know, that's a little bit strange that it's just like not showing up. And now that I am trying to pack it on so much, I'm starting to get little bits of fallout on my under eyes. I don't know, it's really strange because I'm just not, like, what it looks like in the pan is just not what's coming up on my eyes. I feel like I'm going to need to go even darker, otherwise you won't see anything. So on the very outer and very inner, I'm going to go in with the very darkest shade that isn't black and see what happens. Okay, there's just something. Just a bit disappointing that I'm having to use the very darkest shade in the palette, because then that means still that I don't have as many options for deepening crease shades as I would have liked to. But actually the pigment on this one is there. It's actually very nice. Now if I go back and blend this, is all the pigment just going to disappear is the question. A little bit. So far, the only colour that's really doing it for me is this red. Like, this one is really nice. The other ones just don't seem to really be up to par, which is really disappointing me because you don't want to buy a whole palette for one colour. So I'm just going to take this bronze pencil and I'm going to just use that to draw in where I want the halo cut crease bit to be, because to be honest, I just can't be asked to be getting out concealer and a brush and everything like that. This is a technique that I do quite often, and I do also have a video about how to do this because it just speeds up the whole process and you get pretty much the same cut crease effect, and it's just a lot easier to do. So I'm going like just above where the crease of my eye is and drawing a little semicircle in the middle of my eye. Then I'm gonna drag it down and draw like a triangle. Illuminati confirmed. And then just fill it in. But making the edges a little bit jaggedy because you don't want them to be like perfectly straight, because you want, when you put the eyeshadow on top of it, to it still blend. And that's literally the basis of your cut crease. I like to do it this way because I think the pencil just provides like a nice base for the colour to stick to because it's already a similar tone. So I think I'm gonna go in with, I'm leaning towards this like pinky sort of shade. I think I'm going to try it dry and see how it goes. That did pick up quite nicely on the brush. Let's just hope it translates onto Les eye. Ooh. Okay, that's quite nice. Not quite as shiny as I was hoping for, but the colour is definitely there, so I think I could try it wet. Picked up some more of that colour and I'm just going to give it a little spray with setting spray and go back in. Okay, that made little to no difference whatsoever. I mean, I don't hate it. It's a nice colour. It's just not as shiny as I was hoping for. I'm going to try the other eye with my finger and see if that works any better. So I've picked some up and I'm just going to press it on. Yeah, largely the same. Now I'm just blending out the edges ever so slightly, so they aren't so harsh. I mean, like, the effect is there. It's just not as, there's not as much of a contrast as I was hoping between the mattes and the shimmers. And there's quite a substantial amount of fallout. So I'm just going to take a little bit of face powder. Oh, I do not need that much. I'm trying to brush away the fallout. Okay, so it brushes off pretty easily. I mean, that's one good thing. For an inner corner highlight, I think I'm going to go in with one of the highlighters because I do want the inner corner to be really nice and bright. And right now the shimmery eyeshadow is not giving me quite the effect that I'm looking for, so... Oh, that's nice. Okay. That restores some of my hope. Just while my lash glue is drying, let's see what these highlighters have to say for themselves. I don't know which one to try. I'm thinking maybe this one. Looks like it has a nice like gold tone to it. Is that even picking up? Let's see. We shall see. Ooh. Okay. Ooh, she's there. Jesus Christ, I was not whoa, I went in too hard. I was not expecting that. Wow. Damn, has that palette redeemed himself. That is a highlight. That is a bit too much. Oh my god, what am I gonna do with that? You could literally see me coming from a mile away. Like, I didn't go as hard on this side, but dang. Okay, I'm no longer mad at this palette. I'm gonna have to try and take some face powder and tone that down because that, oh my god. I look like a chrome statue. As much as I love this highlight, that's not a cute look. And I was planning to leave the house today. Oh my god. That's so much highlight. Fuck. What am I gonna do? Is that working or is it just like spreading it? I can't tell. Oh my god. Is that making it worse? This is making it worse. Pixi. Pixi. What did you put in these things? That's insane. So this is it for the finished look. Final thoughts on this palette. I was not really very impressed with the eyeshadows, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm gonna have to try out a few more of them to see what they're like, because I feel like maybe it's just some inconsistencies in the formula, because the first two that I tried, the like red one and the slightly peachy toned one, I really like. It's just the deeper browns just seem a lot more rich and intense color in the pan, and then that just doesn't really translate onto the eyes, and they sort of just mix together and become the same color, which isn't really what you want. You don't want four eyeshadows that look the same. Having said that, the highlight speaks for itself. She fucking did that. Although I do just wish that this formula was the same as with the shimmer eyeshadows, because that would look absolutely stunning on the eyes. Like, for a shimmer eyeshadow, I just want a little bit more from it. I mean, I guess it's down to preference. Like, some people don't like too much shine, and I guess if you're using this like for work and for everyday, like, you don't want it to be too much, but I feel like you could at least have that difference where if you used it dry, it's not going to be so much, but then if you maybe used your finger or used it wet, then you're going to get that wow intense shine. Whereas I don't feel like that happened. I felt like whatever method I applied it with, it was just the same. It was just the same dull, and I was just a bit like, this isn't really something I'm going to gravitate towards. Not that I'm not going to use the palette again, because I feel like it is a really good colour scheme, and it's nice that everything's sort of in one place. So if you're just getting ready to get up quickly and go to work, you literally can just grab it and like throw something on and you're out the door. Especially for someone like me who has so many colourful eyeshadows, I feel like I have to like dig through every single palette that might have like one neutral in there to just find what I'm looking for, whereas in that palette everything's sort of there in one place. So hopefully the more that I play with it, the more I sort of get to grips with it, and the better it might be. But for a first impression, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit disappointed. But looking at this glow does cheer me up a little bit. Just a tad. So anyway guys, that is it for the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it and found it insightful. You can take from this what you will, whether you decide to go out and buy the palette or you don't. Don't sort of let my opinion of it sway you. Go out and give it a try and see how you feel. Although I did look online and it is already sold out, so whether it's going to come back, I don't know, because it is limited edition. But if you did really like the look of it and you're hoping to get your hands on it, I don't think it's a bad palette for the price you're paying, because you are getting a lot in there, and it very much just depends on what you're looking for from your eyeshadows. So do with this what you will. Don't take it as like, oh no, I hate the brand and this, that and the other. I'm still going to be willing to try stuff that they put out in the future. This palette just may not have been it, chief. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you like it and leave a comment below letting me know your thoughts. If you do have this palette and you had a different opinion to me, that would be interesting to know as well. Make sure you subscribe, please. I said that in the beginning. You've had all this time, you could have just looked down for a second and, you know, subscribed. So that would be nice, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.